So this video is going to be about how to build a deep intimacy with your partner through your eyes. How easy is it for you to look at your partner in their eyes? If you're the person that can easily maintain eye contact, that can show that you have a lot of confidence and you feel secure within yourself. You might be comfortable being seen and you can easily connect to them. It can show that you're a person that is open, and you might also be a warm person. You might be a person that can engage with your significant other, and you can make easily connections through visual communication. Being able to have that type of contact, it means that you might be effective in the way that you're communicating. You might be quite good at expressing yourself, and you might also have the tools that when you're giving a message out to them, they can receive it and it can be understood. As a person, you can be usually present and engaged in conversations or interactions with your partner. And you can be a person that can actively listen and to show interest to your partner, that you're communicating with them, and that allows you to be able to connect to your partner and to form that intimacy. Having that eye contact, it also shows that you are tuned to a person's emotions, and you can effectively pass on your emotions in order to enhance much more better understanding of your partner and to also have empathy for them. If you're the type of person that has a difficult time looking into your partner's eyes, it can show that you might be a shy person, you might be quite reserved, and you can even be introverted by nature, even though we all possess some introvertedness. If you have a difficult time looking into your partner's eyes, it shows that you might be more comfortable keeping your attention when it comes to words. And you can communicate in ways in which eye contact is not really necessary. And if you're this type of person, you can have a heightened sensitivity that might bring you feelings of being overwhelmed, and you might even start to get uncomfortable when you look into your person's eyes. That can usually show that you're much more reserved, or you might be a person who maintains some sort of privacy within your life. You might be the type of person who likes to maintain personal boundaries with your person, and this eye contact, you can find it quite intrusive and it can make you feel really, really uncomfortable. You might be a person that experiences some form of social anxiety, and you might have a hard time looking into people's eyes because you might be a person who has a fear of judgment or even an overall negative evaluation. You can be a person that you might worry about how your partner might perceive you. So you might be thinking, oh my God, they might be seeing my pimple, or they might be seeing my nose is too big, or that. All these different things that come into your brain. I want to share with you a very simple exercise that you can try as a couple so you can see the level of your intimacy between you and your partner. Sit across each other and start looking at them in the eyes. And you can start at 1 minute and then change the intervals as you start to get more comfortable. And it's good to do this exercise daily. What you can find when you start to do this exercise, you might recognize that you do not have such a deep intimacy between your partner. And you might be struggling in the way that you're communicating, and you might not be connecting on that level that it is required. And it might be a challenge to look at each other. So as a couple, that can show you that you have difficulties in ways of expressing your emotions, or you might have difficulties when it comes to finding resolutions when you guys get into argument. The experience can make it feel uncomfortable for you to be establishing eye contact. It's kind of like a sign. Being able to see into their eyes, it requires a level of trust and vulnerability. The couples that have a hard time looking at each other's eyes, it might also show that there is an underlying trust issue or fears that the person might not want to emotionally expose. So they get to be in a very vulnerable state. Each person, based on their experience, based on their unresolved emotional baggage, based on their trauma, all these things can actually affect how a person can look into each other's eyes in order to feel comfortable. People that have resolved a lot of issues between them, they do not have a difficult time being able to look into each other's eyes, and they can actually really appreciate that experience, and it brings them into a higher level of intimacy between them. I highly recommend you try this. It will be wonders for you in your relationship. By looking into each other's eyes, you can actually discover a lot about your partner. You can see their personal insecurities, you can see how conscious they feel about themselves, and how hard it might be for them to maintain that eye contact. At the moment of eye contact, there are going to be feelings of feeling judged, feeling about their bodies or some certain things that they might have issues, or you can see that they have a lack of confidence and it might make them uncomfortable to look into each other's eyes. You get to see a lot about the other person and appreciating them much more at the same time. Many people are indeed going to find it extremely difficult, especially if one of the partners is usually involved. Let's say that they're the type of person who is constantly busy with distractions, or too busy at work, or they overloaded, that didn't actually take quality time to put into relationships. There you get to see that there's not a level of connectedness between the couples. All of these distractions and all of these external pressures of a person have led them to a position where they are unable to meet the eyes. And it's quite shocking. A lot of couples out there lack intimacy. I truly encourage people to start looking at their partner's eyes in order for them to develop a strong emotional bond between them, and that can be a safe space for both of them, so they can learn this quality time to connect on a deeper level and to see each other. When you get to see each other, how you can express, you can get to see the verbal language, the nonverbal language, just through the eyes. No speech is required. You're going to get to see all the hidden emotions, all the thoughts and desires within your partner. You'll be quite surprised when you try to do this exercise. This is your quality time to be present and engaged with each other's presence. And that's going to require you to really engage in active listening, but not with the ears, with the eyes. And that's going to give you a whole undivided attention, and it's going to help you build respect and trust for each other. And you both are going to start feeling much more secure in each other's intentions, and it's going to lead the way to get much more comfortable with each other, because by being able to look into your partner's eyes, you're going to start to empathize with them and their emotions. And that ultimately is going to help you deepen your connection with them. And when you start to do that, you ignite a very powerful, intentional moment that you are going to appreciate how important your partner is. That's going to help you to establish a very sacred space for the two of you, that you're going to connect and the intimacy is going to become really deep. That's amazing.